You ever look at the job description for a product manager and just think, wow, that seems impossible?
Part technologist, part business strategist, part user advocate. Do you really need to be an expert in everything? Well, in this explainer, we're going to demystify this whole role and build a super clear map of the skills that truly matter. Yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? The one that hangs over anyone even thinking about getting into product management. Does becoming a PM feel like you're signing up for an impossible task? The short answer, no. But, and it's a big but, you do need to be fluent in all three areas. Let's dig into what that actually means. So let's start with the classic way of looking at it. Imagine a Venn diagram with three circles: business, user experience or UX, and technology. The product manager, they live right in that sweet spot in the middle where all three overlap. They're the link, the glue, holding these critical areas together, making sure that what you build is valuable for the business, easy for the customer to use, and actually possible to create. So here's our game plan. We're going to tackle 4 key areas. First, the technologist mindset, then the strategist playbook. After that, we'll dive into being the user's advocate, and finally, we'll talk about the leader's influence that really ties this whole thing together. All right, first up, let's talk tech. And right off the bat, this is not about becoming a rockstar coder. It's about understanding the art of the possible and, crucially, being able to have a real, meaningful conversation with your engineering team. These are the fundamentals. You don't need to be an expert, but could you explain what an API does in simple terms? Do you get the basic differences, the trade-offs between a native app on your phone and a web app you use in a browser? Grasping these core ideas is what lets you understand the real effort and complexity behind any new feature someone asks for. This right here is the absolute key. A product manager at a company like Airbnb doesn't need to know how to code a new payment system from scratch, but they absolutely have to understand the technical trade-offs, things like complexity, security risks, or how long it might take. That knowledge is what empowers them to make smart, realistic decisions alongside their engineering team. Okay, now let's switch gears and put on our business hat. Because look, a product can be a technical masterpiece and have a gorgeous design, but if it doesn't create real business value, well, it's just not going to last. And a huge piece of that business strategy is monetization. How does this thing actually make money? Think about it. You've got freemium models like in Clash of Clans, where you can play for free but pay for advantages. Then you have subscriptions like Netflix, where you pay a recurring fee for full access. A great PM has to deeply understand which model makes the most sense for their specific product, and, just as important, for their users. And to make those big strategic calls, you have to understand the market you're playing in. A classic tool for this is Porter's 5 Forces. It's such a powerful way to analyze the whole competitive landscape. It forces you to ask the hard questions like, how easy is it for a new competitor to just show up? And how much power do our customers really have to dictate prices? A great PM is always thinking about these forces to find their product's strategic edge. Okay, so we've covered the tech and the business. Now for what is truly the heart and soul of any great product, the user. The product manager has to be the number one, loudest, most passionate champion for the customer in every single meeting and with every single decision. So how do you actually keep the entire team focused on the user? Well, one of the most powerful tools in the PM toolkit is the user story. Now, this isn't some dense technical document. It's a simple, almost casual description of a feature, but it's told from the user's point of view. And its real magic is that it forces everyone to answer the single most important question. Why are we building this? And here it is, the magic template. As a busy professional, I want to reorder my favorite coffee with one tap so that I can save time in the morning. You see? Boom. It immediately grounds the work in a real human need. This simple structure makes sure that you're always solving a real problem for a real person. So we've looked at the 3 core pillars: tech, business, and user. But what holds them all together? What makes it all work? Well, that's the final crucial piece of the puzzle: leadership. But for a product manager, it's a very unique kind of leadership. Just look at all these different teams: engineering, design, marketing, sales. Now, here's the critical part. None of them actually report to the product manager. This is the true art of influencing without authority. A PM's power doesn't come from their job title. It comes from their clarity of vision, their ability to communicate, and their skill at getting everyone excited and aligned around a shared goal. And these, right here, are the superpowers that make all that happen. Think about the crystal clear communication that makes Slack work, the ruthless prioritization that led Instagram to bet the farm on stories, the incredible adaptability that Zoom showed the world, the creative problem solving that got Dropbox off the ground, and the high emotional intelligence that Satya Nadella used to completely transform Microsoft's entire culture. So let's circle all the way back to that intimidating question from the beginning. Do you need 3 master's degrees? Absolutely not. The goal isn't to be a master of 3 different fields. It's about developing the fluency to speak the language of each one and the empathy to lead everyone toward a common vision. So there you have it. We've laid out the map of the modern product manager. It's a journey of constant learning across tech, business, and user experience, all held together by leadership. So the only question left is, where will you start?